Welcome to Code with Kurt, the channel that brings you the latest Google Apps Script and Google Sheets videos. And today's video is a part 2. I created a video before this where all I do is cycle through the records on a Google Sheet using this custom form over here. So I can toggle through each record as they shift. And I'll put a tag on the video, shows you how to build this aspect of this program. And in this video, we're going to go through the update, add, and delete buttons. So now we can update these records. Like I could switch this to 99999. I can update it. And now this is updated. I can switch to this record. I could change, say the address is 777. I can hit update. And now it's switched it over here. I can also delete this record. I go ahead and delete that. That deletes it off. And the next thing I'm going to do is I can add a record. I can here. There we go. When I hit add, and then I can just hit update because I'm starting a new record 5. Update that. And here it is. It puts it in there. So I'm going to show you how I added those 3 buttons to this program using Google Apps Script and adding some HTML and JavaScript code as well. So let's get started. So here we are with part 1 of our program here, and what this does is just cycles through the records. Again, you could catch this video on the tag on the screen, but we're going to move forward and add the buttons in and do the extra functionality for them. So we're going to go over to our Google Apps Script, and here nothing has changed here. It's the same thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in 2 functions here, one for update and one for delete. And what these are doing is this is actually doing the update and delete part of the Google Sheet. And we'll be calling these using Google Apps Script. So I got these added. I'm going to hit save. Now I'm going to go over to records. And again, this is exactly the same as part 1 of the video. And for part 2, we're going to add the 3 buttons down here, the update, add, and delete buttons. So we have those 3 added. And as you can see here, each button is calling a JavaScript function. So this one's calling update record, this one's calling add record, and this one's calling delete record. And they're both labeled update, add, and delete. So now we're going to have to add in the JavaScript. And there's 3 functions here. And I'll go through these 3 and how they all work together. So let me copy them in here. So those are the 3 additional functions: the update record function, the delete record function, the add record function. And I will post this code in the first comment, the HTML and JavaScript code. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And what this does is we have our 3 buttons added here. So let's first do the delete button because that seems to be the most simplest function of them all. So we're going to do the delete record. So what that's calling is up here. And basically what we're doing is we're getting the record. So we're getting the record that we're on. So say we're on record 1 right here, which is Bill Smith. And then with this, we're calling a user with success handler. And this is a Google Apps Script JavaScript call right here. And what we're doing is we're calling delete record here. So how this works is delete record is called first, which is over here. And this is one of the new ones we added, delete record. We're passing the record through that we're deleting. So say we're record 1 right now. We're getting the active sheets object. We're assigning the record sheet, the sheet to contacts, which is our sheet name. And we're taking that row number, we're turning it into a number, and we're hitting +1 on it to it. It's because we have our header record up here. So our first record is actually row 2. So we're shifting everything up 1 to align our record number with our row number. And we're kind of using the row number as our ID in this case. So that's why we do the +1, which will delete Bill Smith. So that's how that works. Now there's a second part to this call as well. We'll go back. There's this load records in here. So once this is done, we'll go back here. It's going to return a 1 here. And what this is doing, so we're calling load records, which is a JavaScript function, and we're returning a number with it. So we'll go up here, and we got load records, and it's returning a 1 through here. Right there, that's how that works. So when I'm returning a 1 back, it's passing the 1 through record. So now record I have 1. So the reason I'm doing this is not really to get the number 1 up here, because eventually it finds the record again through here and uses this actually to work with. It doesn't really use this, but I needed a way to call this in sequential order, because if I call this delete record and then later come down here and hit load records below, it all depended on which finished first. Sometimes the load records would finish before the delete records, and I would return all my records back into the view before it was deleted. So I needed a way to sequentially call this. So basically what it does is calls delete records. It waits till this is done, then it passes that, returns that 1 back over here. It returns that 1 back here. It waits and waits. And then it calls this load records here with that 1, waiting for that 1 to come back. So that's how I could do it sequentially, and it keeps everything in order. And I do that again as well in this update record here. So that's my delete. My update record is here, and I'm doing an on-click on there. So when I do an update, what I'm doing is I'm pulling the record. I'm pulling all the records, the record, and then all the ones in my form. And again, I'm doing an update record, so I'm passing all these fields through to the update record. So back over here. And here I got the record, first name, last name, and all that. Adding 1 to the record again to line it up with my row number. Doing the active sheets, doing the record sheet, declaring. And here I'm just setting the value. So I'm finding the record here. With this is my A plus record, F plus record, which is my row number all the way through, and then I'm setting the values all the way through. And then again, I'm returning the record number again here, so I can get this to do sequential call here. I keep going over there. So I get to do a sequential call, so it passes that record number back again to call load records up here. And again, we don't do anything with that record, but it's just a way so I can sequentially call it. So it does the update, and then it does the update of records into my form. So I could get it to go in that kind of order. And then from there, I'm setting that record to the value here. And then the last thing I'm doing for add record, again, this is my add record button, which on click, it does an add record. And basically all this does is it just clears out the field. So I'm getting my max record value. So in this case, right now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records. And then what I'm doing is I'm adding 1 to that, and I'm setting that back to the record. So it would be 6. And then I'm clearing all the fields out. So that makes it like I'm starting a new record. So then when I fill it out, the next button I hit is update record, which will update, overlay all that information for that record 6. So basically the add record, all it does is just clear the field out and set a new record number for the new record. So that pretty much completes the extra code here for the update, add, and delete. Here I got both saved. I can go up here. I can exit out to see the updates here. Here I got my numbers, my records coming in, and then I can make my updates as well. See where to update the zip. So that concludes this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below the video. Until next time.